Hey guys, what's up? It is another video where I'll be talking a bit and just doing some solo practice. Right now I feel like working on some shield pressure and some general movement, so I'm going to put a barrel up here. And that's just going to let me hit something, and that means I'm going to have hit lag, so it's going to be able to apply to real games, but then also put it on a stage where I can move around. Um, there is a topic that I want to talk about today that I've been thinking about recently, which is maybe kind of depressing, maybe not depressing. I really would love to hear your guys' thoughts about what I'm going to talk about in the comments once we get into it. Um, but essentially, I feel like the way I've heard this described before and the way I kind of like talking about it is that humans are really, really good at adapting. Which is useful for so many reasons, right? We can adapt to new technologies and utilize them. We just make everything work for us, despite how, like, crazy it'll be. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard, but if you wear, like, glasses that turn your vision upside down, humans can literally adjust to that and adapt after not that long. I don't know how long it takes to like fully adapt to it, but like you can get used to seeing the world like that and maneuvering your body. Also, if you like reverse the handlebars on your bike, this was like a classic one that I heard in like psych class in high school or whatever. But if you reverse the handlebars on your bike so you turn it to the right, but the wheel goes left, eventually you can get used to it, and then if you go back to a normal bicycle, you have to readapt to that situation, and then a normal bicycle is going to feel backwards to you. And so there are just so many things, so many reasons why being able to adapt like this is beneficial and has caused civilization and humans to thrive over other animals for God knows how long. But there's some weirdly depressing parts about adapting to things. And essentially, like, I definitely, one thing that I want to get out of the way is that I burnt myself out over the last, like, 2 weeks. I didn't create any videos because I was just so set on practicing and trying to win. So I played, like, 8 hours of ranked every single day. I think over the course of 2 weeks, I played over 500 sets, and that's not even... Those are just the ranked sets I'm playing, not the solo practice and the unranked games that I'm playing and games with my friends or whatever. It's like, holy cow. I definitely burnt myself to a crisp really fast, which is something that I said in my return video that I wanted to avoid. But, also in my return video, I mentioned that, like, one of the reasons why I felt like I had to step away is because of how burnt out I was, and that I wanted to step away. I didn't even realize in the moment that it was burnout, but it was contributing to me feeling really jaded towards the community, or like Twitch chatters or YouTube comments, whatever it might be, the Twitter online community. I was just so jaded that I would read anything and I would get tilted. I don't think I brought this up in a video before, but it was so funny. I'll admit to it because this is me just venting to you guys, but like, I had a chatter come in. One of my longest time chatters ever. His name's Ryder. He came into my chat and he was like, "Ooh, we have a noon stream today, do we?" And it was like 11:45. And I was like, "Bro, it's not noon." And he was like, yeah, my bad." And but I was just like, it was really early in the day for me. So sorry that noon is early in the day for me, but I've been better. I've been fixing my sleep, everybody. Okay, that's an important thing that's been going on. But I was like, that comment made me realize, like, what the fuck? I'll get tilted at anything. I'm so irritable right now, and I'm so burnt out, and I'm so jaded that I will get tilted at anything. Anything. Like, what? That's a random comment that is like completely neutral. In what universe am I upset at that, right? And so this brings me, we talked about adaptation just a second ago, and it's funny because Ryder, this chatter, and a friend of mine, it was the catalyst for me to start thinking about this concept. Something I've thought about before, but something that's kind of been, I took it a step farther by thinking about it a little bit deeper. But when I first started streaming, and you could say when I first started making YouTube videos also, but mostly when I first started streaming, I would maybe have like 3 viewers. Maybe somebody from my local community, because I would post it on Twitter, I'd post it on Facebook, I'd ask my friends to post it on their Facebooks, I'd DM anybody I could, I'd tell my family that I was streaming, I would text anybody that I knew, hey guys, I'm going live on Twitch playing this game, like, you should come check it out. So I'd get like 3 viewers, right? And sometimes I would get 0 viewers. And one thing I like to talk about is that, like, the worst part about having 0 viewers is that eventually you have to end the stream. But you have VODs on. But I'm telling you guys, if anybody in here has like tried to stream and knows this feeling, please, I'd love to see a comment relating to this. But ending the stream is by far the worst thing, because you can kind of talk to yourself and play a video game. But when you're about to end and you know nobody's watching, you just sort of go like, all right, well, hey guys, thanks to anybody out there. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Like, you're saying bye to nobody. It is the most depressing, weird feeling in the world. But I bring this up to highlight how important it is just to have one guy in your Twitch chat. And I've watched so many interviews with streamers where they all talk about the one guy. One person was there from the beginning, talking to them, making it so you have a call and response, you can have a conversation, and how important that is to keeping your stream alive. And shout out Gum, who is such a, still views my stream sometimes, but is lurking these days, used to come in and talk to me, and I was like, so refreshing. I was like, it's not my sister who I've convinced to come watch my stream and just like has it on in another tab. This person is being nice and actually like asking questions or commenting on what's happening on the screen so that I can talk about it. And just having one viewer made me so happy. And if I could get to like 7 viewers, I'm popping off. Double digits is insanity. Like 10 viewers would be crazy. I'd probably feel like there's like 3 bots in there or something. And this went on for like the first year of me streaming. Just like before I got ranked top 100 and everything, and more people kind of knew who I was or checked me out on social media. Also, the move of the Smash community from Facebook moving to Twitter meant that like more people could follow me from elsewhere, and I could also make tweets that get reposted and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, all this to say, I just turned on my stream today, and I think I had 76 viewers when I ended, and it was a grind stream. I wasn't trying to talk to the chat, I wasn't doing anything special, I was just playing Falco in Melee, not really even responding to the chat. But something I've realized is that, like, I don't want to say that I take it for granted, because when I stop and think about it, I'm so grateful. Right down below, I have like my sub amount, right? And, consider subscribing if you want or whatever. Come on over to Twitch. It would help me a ton. But down below is how many subs I have. I have 113. And when I think about those people who support me, that is money that is legitimately life-changing to me. I live on simple means or whatever, and I definitely am not extravagant, and I don't spend my money like crazy. So, making that money for my subscribers literally helps me pay rent or buy groceries or food. Helps me get cat food for the cat that I take care of. It is really important, and so many people support me, whether they're subscribed or they follow or they view or anything, lurkers, regardless. Everybody's helping me, and I have so many people who love and support me and are fans of mine, which is crazy. I just feel like a person. I have fans. But somebody comes to my chat, one of my longest time viewers, longest supporters, been subscribed for like 7 to 8 years or something, and they say something even slightly wrong. And if I'm irritable enough, if I'm burnt out enough, I just pounce on that. And I've adapted to the point where if I have 80 viewers, that's like nothing. It's like normal. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, 80 viewers, whatever. I turn on the stream, people are chatting. I'll respond to them if I want, whatever. Maybe I'll read out their tag, maybe I won't. If they're not subbed, maybe I'll respond. If they're not subbed, maybe I'd rather read a subscriber's message. And these are things that just happen almost like subconsciously even. It's not like I'm purposefully looking at like ignoring non-subs or something. I don't feel like I'm that egotistical or whatever. But even when it comes to Melee, like, I feel like I almost have earned or that I deserve the results that I get or the viewers that I garner or the money I win from tournaments. And I for sure have worked hard in streaming and content creation, in Melee, in competing in general. So it feels good to be rewarded for it, but at the same time, it's like, now, if I have 3 viewers when I stream, I would get really depressed. I'd be like, damn, I really didn't realize how hard I've fallen off and like how nobody cares about my stream. And I had like one guy chatting, and it's like, it's so depressing just seeing the same person in chat for the whole stream, and it's just me and him going back and forth. It's like, dude, this used to be a dream to me. When did it change? How did I adapt to this? Why do I feel so ungrateful? What? I should be grateful that anybody is willing to watch a video of mine or listen to me talk or ask a question, give me the opportunity to help somebody with something that I have knowledge about and they're seeking. How fulfilling and amazing is that? I'm recording a YouTube video on a computer that I have. I'm living in an era with technology. Not to mention that just getting up in the morning and taking a breath of air to my lungs is literally a privilege, something that I should not take for granted. Yet, every time I wake up, it's like I get upset, or I'm irritated, or I'm tired, or I'm cranky, or a million other things. Another example of this that I like to think about is that I travel for tournaments all the time, and when I look outside of the window from an airplane, I feel almost nothing at all, ever. Like, the clouds sometimes look kind of cool, and there's little farms and people in cars, but I almost never feel anything. Like, I don't feel inspired, I don't feel wonder, I don't feel scared. I've adapted to this. I'm a human that can fly. And it's just, that's normal to me now. Who cares? It's like you transport a commercial airplane back to the 1800s or whatever, put people up there, and have them look at the ground, and their brains are going to shatter in their skulls. Like, but I can't feel anything. And it's so similar to when I'm streaming. I just can't feel. I look at the viewers, and it says 85, and there's 5 people chatting. Maybe they're even talking to each other, which was like a dream of mine. I used to want to have a community of people that would talk to each other, that we could inspire each other and work together, and there'd be people who want to get better at Melee and watch me, and people who are fans of mine, we could get together and play games together or something. And I can't get myself to feel anything because I'm just used to it. It doesn't even feel ego-driven. It doesn't even feel like it's like I don't care or that I'm not grateful. It's just that I don't know how to be inspired by that anymore. I don't know how to feel joy and fulfillment from something that seems like, oh yeah, I turn my stream and the people just are there, and it's like usually about 40 to 100 people, and yeah, it's cool. I would like more viewers, I would like more subscribers, I would like more people engaging with my content. I would like that, but also I would dislike if I had less viewers, and like, man, where did I come from? Have I forgotten where I've come from? Is that what it is? I'm not sure. But this is a thing that everybody essentially has thought about at some point in their lives, but the way that it gets described is that you live for the acceleration. When you accelerate past a point, let's say that you make more money, let's say that that's an acceleration in your life, that feels amazing. But if you keep making that amount of money for 10 years, you'll feel nothing because you will have adapted to making that amount of money, right? And if you make less money, that will feel bad. But if you just sit still, you feel essentially nothing about it. And honestly, it probably starts to feel bad. In a lot of ways, it does feel bad to think about plateauing or stagnating or anything like that. Whether it's my Melee results or your guys' Melee results or the amount of viewers that I have or whatever the hell. It feels weird. There's this concept that's been like terrifying me recently, which is that no matter what I do, I'll accelerate and that'll feel good for a time, but won't I always just meet some point where I'm not satisfied? When do I get to feel satisfaction? When do I feel like everything, like I'm content with what I have? Does that ever happen? Everything that I do, like, why do anything if it's all going to feel like nothing eventually? And so that's just kind of terrifying me, is that, like, no matter what I do, if I get more viewers, if I get more subs, if I have a better computer, or if I have a worse computer, or if I make more friends, or get better results, or become #1 in the world, which is like a huge goal of mine, right? What if I become #1 in the world? Once I become #1 in the world for 3 years straight, will I even care? Do I want to care? Am I going to want to do something else? Like, what's the point? And I know this feels so depressing. I don't mean it to be. It's just that I realized, like, why am I doing anything? What's the end goal? The best thing I've come up with, and I'm sure that philosophers have thought about this long before I have, and there's probably answers, which I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments, legitimately, sincerely about this. Something that I can think about is that I need to engage with something that is larger than myself. And when I say that, it almost sounds religious to me at the start, and I don't know if it does to you guys, but I've been hearing that recently, like, oh, in order to achieve fulfillment, you have to commit yourself to something that's larger than yourself. And I'm thinking, like, well, I'm not personally that religious of a person. It's like, well, I don't want to, like, have to go believe in something to then feel fulfilled, because I'm, like, participating in tasks that might, at the end of the day, get me to some, like, heaven-esque situation. You know, it does. I want to feel satisfaction, fulfillment, contentness, peace, maybe is a good word for it, during my time on Earth, you know? But the thing that's larger than myself, I think that is important that I can really be a part of and maybe be a leader in is the Melee community. And I don't take my role within the Melee community to be very serious, because I've talked about this before, even on my YouTube channel, that I just feel like a guy. I don't feel like Avery Wilson, the top Melee player. I'm just like a dude. I just try my hardest, and I like competing, and I have my own personal goals, and that's what it is. But I never feel like I am some top player that deserves worship, and I definitely don't deserve worship. But I think that because I have influence, and I have a skill set, and I have knowledge, and I have a gift to communicate, and I have a base foundation of viewers, that I could even make my own community and do what I want with that, which is like something that I've done in the past. And I have tons of friends. I have a Discord that you guys could also join. It's a free to join Discord, but a lot of times I get people together. And I think it really is that if I commit myself to making it a goal to educate others and bring people together while bettering myself, that is the infinite satisfaction supplier. Because I think every time I help somebody, it feels amazing. Which is why I stopped streaming Ranked a bit, because Ranked was going terrible, and I was burning myself out, and it was feeling bad, and I was being bad to those who watch me and support me, which is not good. I end the stream, by the way, and I feel embarrassed and ashamed and awful. But every time I answer somebody's question, and they say, maybe they come back 2 days later, hey Ginger, you gave me that tip against Sheik, and I went out and I beat like my local Sheik main or something for the first time. Oh, that is just a rush that never gets old. I feel like I'm contributing. I feel contributing to something greater than myself. And in that sense, I can find purpose and fulfillment. And that's what it's all about. It's not about temporary gains. I have goals and things I'd like to achieve, but I don't want to do it alone. And I think that with humans being social creatures, part of it is that like shared experience is so strong. And honestly, a big part of why my mental's been so shot recently is it feels like I've come back to competing and I've come back to Melee, and so many of my peers, so many of the people that I love and respect and care about, so many of my friends aren't around. I for sure have friends, and this isn't a shot to any of the people that I'd see at tournaments or whatever, but I just, sometimes I'm at tournaments, even now, I've only got to two, and one of them, I didn't really feel this way, but like at Gommel, I almost felt alone, surrounded by people that love me and care about me, and I couldn't walk 10 feet without running into a fan or somebody I used to know and wanted to catch up with. But I almost felt alone in some senses where like, man, I don't have those people who came up with me. The people who I've shared this experience with, they're not here. And it was just it's such a weirdly depressing feeling. Even though like I did fine at the tournament and I felt good about my results, but I think that it's not all about what you're doing for yourself. I think that having shared experience and helping those around you and being a part of something that you can contribute to is important. And I think that sociology just talks about all this, and community is so important. And they talk about, this might be a weird turn, but like addicts always need community to get clean. It's like you can't just will yourself. I don't know. This is what I've heard, by the way. I've never gone through recovery or anything like that. I'm not addicted to drugs, but I've heard that like you need support systems and communities and care to help you get out of those types of mental loops and those situations. It's not just a matter of brain chemistry or trying. And so I think like the value of community and being there for other people and how good that feels, and other people being there for you and having a joint struggle and communicating with each other, understanding each other better, that is like what really matters. So this is the only thing that I found that I think is like an answer to the problem of life seeming to just consistently stagnate. It's like you accelerate up to a point and then you're just there. And of course, I think that you should look for constant acceleration and grow as much as you possibly can. Another video that I plan on making, probably the next one that I put out on YouTube, just like this, is going to be lessons I've learned from Melee and the ways that it's helped me grow. Because I want to talk about like the positive aspects of competition and the Melee community and Melee in general. Because I feel like Melee for a little while now is getting kind of a bad rap. So I'd love to talk about like why it's important to me and the things that it's done to actually help my life. And again, these personal goals that I have are cool, but I think, with my stagnation in my viewership and my results or whatever, it's probably a huge reason why I also felt like I needed to retire and take a step back. Because like, what was the point? What was the point if I'm not just going to be doing better? What's the point of being top 20 in the world and beating some player who's top 50 or whatever that I expect to beat or whatever? And there's for sure some ego in there, right? That's holding me back from seeing how wonderful it is or how impressive the things I'm able to do are. Because to me, it just feels like nothing sometimes. I'm sure that some of you guys feel the same. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Sorry for rambling for so long, but this is just like something that's really been bothering me because I have been feeling this existential, like why, maybe existential is not the right word, but like why do anything? What's the point? And if I can I'm going to play ranked for 8 hours a day, and if my number doesn't move up, I feel bad, and if my number moves down, I do feel bad. Is that what life's all about? I don't think so. I think there's more to it. I hope there's more to it. This is going to be my goal, but I'm going to try to come up with ways where I can commit myself to growing my community and helping others, because that's what really seems to be the consistent fuel that keeps me going. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you all later. Okay? Goodbye.